Day 3 of the NBA playoffs are done, so let's talk about it for a little bit. There was only 2 games today, so this should be a pretty quick video. Only Golden State and the Beam team, Sacramento, and then you have the second game, both their second games, second game of the Sixers and the Nets. I guess the best place to start off with this game is we'll just get into this Draymond Demontis Sabonis fight. So this whole thing starts when the Kings are going on the offensive glass and the Kings get the rebound, but Sabonis goes down. It looks like he's grabbing his head, and Sabonis kind of has his Draymond's leg like wrapped up between his arm and his head, and Draymond he doesn't like it one bit, so he kind of like wiggles his leg free and then takes his leg and then jumps on Demontis's like rib cage and puts all his pressure on there and just jumps over. I think it was just a reckless thing to do. I get what he was trying to do, and I get why he did it at the heat of the moment because you're trying to run down offensively and be with the team because it's a close game and a close series. I get what he was trying to do. I don't agree with how he did it though. I mean, to put all that pressure on someone's rib cage like that, he could have easily broken a rib. And that would have been another injury for this already kind of heavily injured this playoff series, or just playoffs in general. I didn't like that part, but the part where he was like hearing it from the crowd, I didn't mind as much. I think the NBA is a lot more fun when there's like you could say there's superheroes, superstars, and then there's supervillains like Draymond and Dylan, where you don't necessarily agree with what they do or how they do it, but they're you need them. They make the league just so much more interesting. Sabonis was really just going through it this game. There was like 4 different times when you could just see him on the ground, just like in pain. And yeah, when he got kicked off by Draymond, you could just tell he was in so much pain. He stayed down there for like a couple minutes, and Draymond went and taunted the crowd. But it was like Sabonis has just been a trooper this game, so shout out to him. Alright, let's get into the actual game now. Uh, Both teams started off not shooting well. Well, both teams didn't shoot pretty much well the whole game. Clay and Draymond were relatively contained. Jordan Poole on the Golden State side, they were Steph only had, I think it was 20 points or less. Clay had about the same, and then Jordan Poole had like an inefficient like 8 or 9 points. Um, and then coming out of the gate, nobody for Sacramento could get a 3-pointer to go down, and that was kind of a theme throughout the whole game. No one was really getting anything to go down. Um, Andrew Wiggins, though, for Golden State, looked like he didn't miss a beat. He missed like 20 games in the regular season, but he kind of just got right back into it. He was making catch and shoots, pull ups, like everything you kind of wanted from Andrew. Um, and I'm kind of scared for the Warriors in this series. I had the Warriors coming out in 7. Um, but really, the only thing that Sacramento needs to do is just take a game in Golden State, and it's more or less over. It would probably be Kings in 5, because if they take even a single game in the Chase Center and they go back to Sacramento, I think the crowd's just going to be so overwhelming, and the series is going to be overwhelming, and they're just going to drop it, and it would be kind of the end of the end of a dynasty, really, man. Just Draymond, and Steph just don't have it like that anymore. Um, and it would be kind of a shame to see a series like this be over so quick, but it's kind of what it's looking like. Um, it seems like in the clutch, Sacramento always has an answer. So if Curry or Clay gets you a bucket in crunch time, Sacramento has just so many ways to get a bucket of their own. If they need like a Malik Monk like 3-pointer, or a Fox 3-pointer, or like what's his name, Sabonis like put back, or like a Fox pull up, they're gonna get it. They execute so well in the clutch. Um, and then both teams just turned over the ball so much, which certainly didn't help either one team, especially the Warriors. There was this clip with Steve Kerr where it said, he wasn't really worried about the turnovers, but because their defense was so good, and they were up by like 6. But you really should worry about those turnovers because they had like probably around 25 in that game. They were just so high-paced offense, man. For the Warriors, they just kept turning it off. And the Warriors in this game didn't have any transition defense. The Warriors, they would get a turnover and run, 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 and it pretty much always ended up in a bucket. That's really what I gotta say about this game. We'll see if the Warriors can take both at Chase Center. If not, I think this is gonna be kind of an early end to what would be otherwise like a pretty phenomenal first round series, one of the best in recent memory. Now the Sixers and Nets game, I don't have nearly as much to say. We'll start off with Brooklyn. Brooklyn in this game, Cam Johnson came out firing on all cylinders. He had like 22 points on like crazy efficiency in the first half, and kinda their whole offense was relying on him because Mikal Bridges didn't really have it going in this game. None of the other Brooklyn Nets really had it going in this game. Unfortunately for the Nets, they were up at halftime, but by the second half, the Sixers kind of pulled it together, and Cam Johnson kind of lost it, and no one really stepped up for the Nets. I gotta say though, the Jacques Vaughn's game plan to double Embiid is working, but unfortunately for the Nets, the other Sixers are stepping up big time, which it was interesting. I'm not sure if the bench would be able to do that. And it's mostly Tyrese Maxey, man. In the first game it was Harden, but this game it was Tyrese Maxey. He had it going this game. And, you can double Embiid, but Embiid's not beating you anymore. It's Tyrese Maxey and James Harden if he feels like playing like a superstar that day. The Nets had a couple chances to tie it up with some people getting some pretty good looks from 3, but they just didn't have it going on. Spencer Dinwiddie, I think, missed a couple. There was someone else that missed a couple too from 3. Joe Harris, yeah, Joe Harris missed a couple from 3, and they had a chance to probably steal this one, but off Cam Johnson's hot hand. Once that was over, the Brooklyn offense stagnated pretty much. And just saying Cam Johnson's name, I thought of Cam Thomas, which was the guy who, when KD got traded, dropped 40 and 40, and I think it was 3 40s in a row. We have not seen that guy all series lately, so this is more of a plea to Jacques Vaughn to just play Cam Thomas. We want to see him, please. There are some times with Philly where I worry about their bench and their 3-point shooting, particularly. Like PJ Tucker, he's been kind of off and on from 3 this year, and DeAnthony Melton and some of those other guys, it seems like they have some time buying buckets. I saw a statistic where it's Philly's one of the best 3-point shooting teams, but watching with the eye test, it just doesn't seem that way. So I worry about their bench. The only solid guy I 100% trust coming off the Philly bench is Paul Reed, man. Paul Reed's been amazing. Alright, that's the end of my analysis for today's games. Comment what you think about these games or anything you want to say. I guarantee I will read them and comment if you do. But until then, I guess I'll see you tomorrow then.